welcome to the LGBTQ Voice. It's Eileen. I'm back again. I know I haven't been on in a while. Tracy is not here tonight. Hi, Tracy. Have fun at your training. So tonight we're going to talk about children who have LGBTQ parents. And we have one video that we'll show, and we also have one live guest. Before we do that, I just want to give everyone a reminder about Pride that's coming up on June 2nd at Buttonwood Park. It will be from 9:30 until about 4. There'll be yoga in the park with Jeff. And then from 11 o'clock to 4, we have performers, we have vendors, we have food vendors. So come out and see us again at Buttonwood Park on June 2nd. And if you'd like to participate in any way, you can reach out to me at eileen@sclgbtqnetwork.org. Send me an email and I'll send you out a packet, and we can talk about what would be a good fit for you for sponsorship, vendors, business ads, those type of things. So tonight, again, we're going to talk about children who have LGBTQ parents. Those of you who know me know that I do have children, so you'll get to see a video from my daughter. She was unable to be here tonight, but she did record a video to share her story and her experience. So we'll let Josh play that. Hi everyone, it's Eileen from LGBTQ Voice. Today we're here with Brenna, my daughter. We're talking about children who were raised by LGBTQ parents. And Brenna was unable to be on the show live tonight, so she agreed to do this video with me ahead of time. So Brenna, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Brenna. Of course, I am Eileen's daughter. I'm 25 years old. I live in New Bedford, but grew up most of my life in Taunton. Let me see. I'm working 2 part-time jobs right now, but my main focus is school. I'm going to UMass Dartmouth for a bachelor's degree in psychology. I also have a minor in sustainability, so I'm interested in environmental stuff. And I would like to continue studying Spanish as well. I'm conversational in Spanish.
Nice. And so you grew up with a younger brother.
I did. Yep.
And
Cameron's just a year younger than me.
And you have some stepsisters?
I do. I have 2 stepsisters, one living in California and one living in New Jersey.
Cool. And did you know that your mother is a lesbian?
I did know that.
You did?
I actually felt that, you know, there was something different about my family dynamic when I was younger. I was pretty young.
So how old were you, do you think, when you found out?
Probably mid-elementary school. I started to realize that my family was a little different than the families that my friends belonged to.
And did you think about that a lot? Did it bother you? Was it something that you thought about all the time?
It's definitely something that I was really curious about. I think that I mostly thought about it when I would be immersed in a situation with my friends' families, and I would see, you know, the mom and the dad, you know, the kids, and, you know, it was definitely different, but not necessarily in a bad way. Just definitely something that made me wonder.
So you basically discovered it through observation before you were ever told?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. I don't think I was sure what to call it.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's where my mom came in to help me out with that one.
Yeah. So eventually, you had a conversation, you and I had a conversation about what that was, what that relationship was, and that it was a lesbian relationship. Do you remember who you told first about that?
I think it was probably one of my best friends. I had 2 best friends at the time, I believe, and one of them I'm still very good friends with to this day. But yeah, I think I told them first, and they seemed to be very supportive. They had many questions, just like I did, of course, and I didn't necessarily have the answers to those, but yeah, it was a learning experience for all of us.
How did you and your friends go about finding out those answers? Because obviously you didn't ask me about all those questions, so where did you find that stuff out?
I mean, some answers probably just came from social situations. Some answers came just as we grew older and realized that, you know, sexual identity and that sexual orientation, it's kind of a spectrum, but we learned that, like I said, as we grew older through middle school and high school years.
So when you were first finding out about your mom being a lesbian, did you have any negative experiences? You said you were in elementary school then, so what was that like?
Overall, there really weren't many negative experiences that I can think of, but off the top of my head, I do remember speaking to one of my friends in the hall one day, and a peer overhearing our conversation and saying something like, you know, oh, your mom's gay, or your mom's a lesbian, or your mom likes women, and I said, you know, yeah, why? There's nothing wrong with that. And they would reply, yes, there is. And I would ask, what's wrong with it? And they never really had an answer. So other than that, I did have an experience where both my mom and her girlfriend at the time were, what do you call that, for Nature and Me?
It was it's like an overnight event,
right,
that where children go with the school as a school trip,
yes,
to experience the outdoors and develop some team building and community skills.
So I believe that was 3rd grade or 4th grade that happened. But let me see. Both my mom and my mom's girlfriend at the time were chaperones. That's the word I was looking for. Were chaperones. And a lot of my, I guess you'd call them bunkmates, were really caught off guard by the fact that both of my parents that showed up to be chaperones were women. So that was definitely something that did have some negative feedback from some of my peers. I actually didn't experience it firsthand. I was told from some of my other friends that another, classmate was talking about how, Brenda's mom's a lesbian and Brenda has 2 moms and that kind of stuff. And it was upsetting to me that somebody else would talk about something that they didn't know much about. And it seemed that they were trying to do it in an offensive way. So upon hearing about this and talking about it with other friends, they were very supportive of me, and they tried to comfort me, because I was very upset. I'm very emotional as a child. But yeah, I mean, I think overall it was, if just those 2 very minor experiences, I would say that it was pretty positive overall.
So during middle school and high school, you pretty much kept the same circle of friends. There was no bullying from external people outside of your circle, or?
I'm sure very minor, but really not anything that I can recall, so nothing that affected me too much.
Okay, well that's excellent.
Yeah.
As a mom, I always wondered how my sexual orientation impacted my children growing up. So I'm glad to hear that, it's unfortunate that you experienced those 2 things, but I'm glad there wasn't more drastic events that happened and that you got support from your circle of friends. So that makes me happy as a mom.
Definitely.
Another question about school: what happened when there was a holiday like Mother's Day or Father's Day? What happened at school? How did you handle that?
So most of the time I was pretty comfortable in just being discreet, going up to the teacher's desk and asking, can I make a second card? I have 2 moms at home, or something to that extent. I would try and avoid, drawing attention to myself because of it, because the more attention, the more emotion I'm going to show in response to it, and I didn't like being the center of attention very much. But I was always, given the opportunity, never shown any adversity to making a second Mother's Day card, so it was good to have that support from teachers.
So it sounds like for the most part your schools were supportive. What about your family? Did you have any issues with family members? Anything that you thought was challenging or unsupportive?
I don't think there was anything specific that was counterproductive to understanding how my family worked. But in my extended family, I was young also, but I don't remember there being any adversity overall. Everyone seemed supportive.
Who was your greatest support?
I would have to say to this day, I mean, my mom is definitely my greatest support, and then my best friend Molly is very, very supportive as well, and she has been ever since. We've been friends since about second grade, and we're still very, very good friends. She's my best friend to this day. She supports me in everything that I do, and she has faith in everything that I do, and it helps that she knows where I've come from and my background and stuff, and in addition to my family dynamics making me more open and accepting to diversity, it also opened her eyes and the eyes of others around me that are still involved in my life to this day. So it was definitely a lasting experience.
Yay, Molly. So if you had to say there was an advantage to having a lesbian for a mom, was there one?
I think so. I think that it definitely led me away from the idea that in society women have this one specific role that they have to fill, a very feminine role, a very cooking, cleaning, housewife kind of goal. And I saw, a spectrum of that with women growing up in my life. And I think that started with being at that young age, understanding that my mother was in a lesbian relationship and that my mother was a lesbian. I think, I think that was an advantage that helped me open my eyes to all of the possibilities being a woman in this world. That it's not just, this is what society wants you to do, so that's what you should do. It's more broad than that.
So my goal is for you to be a strong, independent woman, so good. I have two more questions. One is, just because you have a mom that's a lesbian, does that mean you don't have a dad?
Of course not. I see my dad pretty often. He is living in another state right now, but growing up, I saw him most weekends, many holidays. He was always a big part of my life as well. Actually, I just Snapchatted him earlier today, so that was good to catch up for a little bit.
Nice. And my last question is, if you have any advice for kids who have LGBTQ parents who are struggling, what would it be?
I think it would be that life and family is not a mold that you have to fill each position in a specific way. You should, it can be more of a Mr. Potato Head where you put all different pieces that you feel fit. You can put those pieces together and you can make your family and your life how you want it to be to a certain extent. You don't have to live within these social constructs that that society kind of pushes on us. You don't have to have mom, dad, 2 kids, a dog, and a cat to be, a happy family. Happy families come in all different shapes and sizes and colors and creeds. So.
Thank you so much, Brenna. I appreciate you coming today and talking and sharing your story. And
I'm happy to.
Awesome. And thank you. And I'm sure you'll see this on the LGBTQ Voice tonight.
Can't wait.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A little bit about her experience having a mom that was a lesbian, and growing up, her experience with friends, schools, her dad, some negative experiences. If you have any questions, write in. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Let's take a look at who's here with us. Hi, Hassan. I've been thinking about you all day. My thoughts are with you. Thank you for being here. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Patty. Hi, Alex. And Kelly, Kevin says hi. And everyone is saying hi to Brenna. So, Brenna, when you watch, everyone's here saying hi to you. Now I'd like to introduce Kyle. Kyle is here with us to talk about his experience growing up with LGBTQ parents, and I will let him introduce himself. So, Kyle?
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm 15, and I identify as trans male. Yeah.
Trans male?
Yeah.
Okay. And where did you grow up?
Well, it's a long story. I grew up in New Bedford, and then 3 years into my life, I moved to New Hampshire, and about when I was like 7, I moved to Camden, Maine, which is where I spent most of my life, in Camden, Maine. And then 3 years ago, when I was 12, I moved back to New Bedford.
Okay, so you've been in New Bedford for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
And before we talk about your mom, let's talk a little bit more about you. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So your experiences in Maine, because right before New Bedford you lived in Maine, did you have any difficulty there? Were you out there?
I was out as a lesbian there.
Okay.
So that was really difficult because people were like very curious as to why I was a lesbian or whatever they thought. But it was just difficult because I had to deal with bullies and people not understanding, and it was just not diverse. So, yeah.
And when you moved to New Bedford,
Oh, yeah.
did things change for you?
It changed a little. I mean, there was much more accepting, and there was more acceptance in the community, but I still had to deal with bullies and such. And then, yeah.
Okay. And when did you identify as trans male?
So the first year I came here, it was about like halfway through the year, I figured myself out, and I was like, okay, I identify as male. I feel strongly about this, and I so far have gone and continued with my transition.
Okay. So you basically had a few years of self-discovery and figuring out, and now you're comfortable with who you are.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
Thank you.
So now we'll talk a little bit about your family. Let's see. When did you realize that your parents or your parent was not straight?
Well, my mom came home from work and she brought a friend along, and I was about like 7 maybe, and she was like to me and my brother Gavin, it was like, this is my girlfriend. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, it wasn't anything a big deal about. We've talked about like LGBT groups, and like we've talked about them as people and as a community and such, but like it wasn't a big deal for us. It was like, okay, cool, you're happy, you know.
So it wasn't like shocking to you, or?
Not really.
Okay.
I thought it was like a beautiful thing. I remember looking down the street and seeing like 2 girls holding hands, and I was like, oh Mom, that's so cute. Like,
so you've always been comfortable with it?
Oh yeah.
So you found out through your mom telling you, basically?
Yes.
And you said that it felt comfortable and you felt like it was a great thing, so there were no concerns.
Yeah.
Do you remember who you told first about your mom?
I think my stepdad. he was still in the picture. He was on and off, but he was on and off with my mom. And he's like, I was like, Dad, guess what? And he's like, oh, what, sweetheart? And I was like, Mom's gay. And he was like, yeah, I already knew that. It was just like...
So there was no surprise for him
No,
either?
no.
Surprise. Were there any challenges that came up in your family because your mom came out as gay?
Not really. I mean, my mom's side of the family, her dad was very, like, iffy about it. He was, like, just not all for it. He was, like, just kind of disrespectful and such, but, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about school.
Oh, lovely.
So when you were in school, in your friends, first of all, let's talk about how does your mom identify?
She identifies as pansexual. Should I explain that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So pansexual is basically not caring about gender identity and just loving them for them.
So your mom identifies as pansexual.
Yes.
And when you learned that, and kids found out at school, how'd that work?
It was kind of just like normal kids, I guess. But at the same time, I shouldn't say that because that's very, like, wrong. But it was, you're a lesbian, then you must like girls. And I was like, oh no, I don't like girls, because I thought it was a bad thing now. And I was like, no, I'm okay, I like boys, and I don't like boys. But it was just constant dealing with, oh, if your mom's a lesbian, she's raising you to be gay, so that must mean you're gay. Which makes no sense, but...
So people would say that because your mom was gay, that now you're gay.
Yeah. Makes no sense, but... As a kid, it was like, oh no, I'm not gay, because, like, gay was bad, but...
How did you deal with peers who would say stuff about your mom?
Well, at first, I got the question was, if your mom's gay, then aren't you gay? And I would be like, no, I'm not gay. And I'd kind of brush it off lightly. But then it got to the point where it was constant nagging and just obnoxiousness. So I just kind of told them off and, like, told them it's none of your business. It's none of anyone's business, and you shouldn't even know, like, that kind of stuff. Now I'd be like...
Do you remember any experiences with peers that were positive?
Oh, yeah, all the time. My first girlfriend, she was like, oh, I love the fact that your mom's gay. And, like, some of my best friends came out because my mom is pansexual. So they came out because my mom was so supportive and stuff. So
what about teachers? Did you have any negative interactions with teachers regarding your mom?
No, not really.
Was there any that you feel went out of their way to be supportive?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think that impacted your schooling? I mean, you're still in school now.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, my school, well, Dartmouth High School, has, like, meetings every so often, and they go about, like, LGBTQ topics and stuff. So I really think that with the help of that one teacher who was very supportive, good things to come, you know?
Who do you feel is your biggest supporter?
Definitely my mom.
Your mom?
She goes out of her way to do anything for me. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's an amazing person.
You're a lucky kid. Do you think there were advantages to having a mom that identified as pansexual?
Yes, I do. Coming out as trans, for instance, was relatively easier than most kids would have to go through, because she knew what being trans was. She didn't care. As long as I was happy, she was happy. So.
Is there any situations or specific stories that you remember that either positively or negatively impacted you that will stay with you forever?
Regarding
your mom, regarding...
Can it be about me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It can be about you.
So, when I hit 10th grade, so this past year has been really rough, but it was dealing with me being trans in the classroom. And this woman, one of the teachers, I'm not going to name names because...
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah. But one of the teachers had not used my preferred pronouns, and the teacher, she was a helper teacher, and the homeroom teacher was like, oh, he goes by he, him pronouns, and she just went off and said how that's not supposed to happen. He looks like a girl. He's a girl. He has a vagina. And it was just nonsense, complete nonsense. And it's like scarred me for life.
Do you feel like after that you got any support? Were there any students or the homeroom teacher that supported you after that?
Yeah, I had a ton of people come up to me and say, oh, that's not right, that's completely wrong, and she's in the wrong, you're in the right, and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah.
If you had to give advice to any kid who has an LGBTQ parent and they're struggling, what advice would you give them?
I would say to hang tough, and it will get better. If it doesn't look like it's getting better and things are just a mess right now, it does get better.
Good advice.
Thank you.
There's always tomorrow.
Yeah, there's always a tomorrow. There's
There
always going to be a sun coming up. There's always going to be a moon coming up.
So I know your mom is waiting for you to say some amazing things about her. What are you going to say about your mom?
She's my biggest support, and I couldn't ask for a better mom. She has been there for me for everything, through my transition, top surgery, testosterone. She's been there, and she's been there smiling. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. And congratulations to your mom for being so supportive.
I know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone that has questions for Kyle, write in, type your questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Let's see who's here. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Rosie. Alex says hi, Kyle.
Hi.
Hi, Cameron. Kevin is here. He's quiet. Maureen is here too. She's quiet. She's not going to talk, and she won't come on the camera either. But I'm going to talk about the events that are coming up, what's going on at the A Perfect Place, and we'll see if anyone has any questions. Okay? So, we talked about Pride, that's June 2nd, but let's talk about what's happening at 484 Pleasant Street. So, let's see. On Mondays at 5:30, we started yoga. Yoga is happening 5:30 to 6:30. Come by, try it out. It's all levels. I've done it 2 weeks in a row now. If I can do it, you can do it. And it's ages 14 and up. Again, that's Monday nights. And then we had Pride Cafe on Monday nights. That's ages 18 and up, from 7 to 9. Then Tuesday we have the show. We're here every Tuesday night. Let's see. Wednesday we have tutoring. That is 4:30 to 5:45. That's ages 14 to 24. And then we have the LGBTQ youth and parent group. That's for kids age 8 to 13 with their parents, Wednesday nights, 6:30 to 7:30 at 44 Pleasant Street. What else do we have? First Friday of the month, there's a meeting. Kevin, what time?
7 to 9.
7 to 9, First Fridays, and that's youth, again, ages 14 to 24. Drop in, play games, video games, hang out. Saturdays, we have nothing. And Sundays, Sundays, Maureen, we have AA, Sober and Out, from 9 to 10, again, at A Perfect Place, 484 Pleasant Street. And let's see. What else is coming up? Maureen wants a ping pong tournament, so we have to get a ping pong table first, but we'll see how that goes. Again, if you want to sponsor the show, you can reach out to Leo at New Bedford Guide. He can help you out with sponsorships for this show. It will support the LGBTQ community with many things. We're looking to get kids into summer camp. We're looking to get transportation for individuals who can't get to our groups. So reach out to Leo. Oops, hi Christine. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Kyle?
No, I'm good.
No? All right, well, we're going to have a short show tonight. That'll about do it. Again, if you have any ideas for topics, let us know at the network. And thank you for being here, Kyle.
No problem.
Thank you, Brenna, for recording with me earlier. And have a great night, everyone.